Hello viewers and welcome! Now, again, PSGL race, gonna be interesting, still in the Porsche Festival, and starting in P11, result of the previous race, I mean P10, result of the previous race, yeah, because of a lot of incidents. I hope to start a new chapter with racing, and maybe this time I'll be in some luck. As the engine revs, the lights go around, lights out, and away we go. Getting an early launch compared to other drivers, just slightly better than the drivers next to me. You can see me just slightly edging them out, or like slightly faster than them. So going into turn 1, just doing an amazing move, late on the brakes, diving into turn 1, up 2 positions, and almost actually 3 positions after a bit of contact with Timo, which was, yeah, you can see a little bit of my side, but it's tiny bit of contact, and that led him being on the wrong side of this race. So making pretty much 5 positions within 1 corner, that's pretty much amazing, and something that's unheard of. Amazing move by me. Chucking the car between inside and outside, left, right, up, down, center, everywhere. You can see me making moves as GMR TGS, or Dutch driver, tries to make a move, forces me a little wide, and decides, that kind of gives me a penalty, which I will serve at the end of the straight, which the penalty will be applied, I think right now, yeah, perfect. 1 second penalty, lose position to Luce, which is the fastest driver here, or he qualified first, I think, I am unsure, but he was the fastest driver in practice and qualifying. But again, qualifying is based on the previous to the last race, so it doesn't really matter. All you gotta do is just practice. Now going to serve my penalty after like a couple of corners, 3 corners to be exact. It's not gonna be very pretty with the drivers behind. They're gonna be all up my slipstream, overtaking me, and I'll be chucked all the way behind in P10 or 11, depending on how fast Pinky Boy is, which is really, he is not fast. By far, he's the slowest driver on the grid. He's sometimes unimaginably slow. He's always last, unless it was in this race, which I will not spoil, was not good for me. Anyways, 2 drivers overtake. Pinky Boy not very close. He's actually quite, yeah, he does make it next to me, but he slows down. Really kind of blocked him on the inside. But anyways, going into turn 1, you can see Pinky Boy diving down my inside, and then Bloody 9 just trying to keep it behind. I try to overtake, chuck it down the inside, switcheroo. Bloody Boy punts me wide. Bloody 9 punts me wide, and that's a spin for me. Chucked all the way to last place at such an early stage of the race. Pretty much ruined my whole race with 20 minutes to go. Really not much time to go. So that's pretty much the race for me. It's pretty much over. I can overtake Pink Boy, which is not really fast. Pinky Boy, I'll just make my way, overtake him very soon. You can see he's right up ahead, like a second, just under a second ahead. And I still have a 0.5 second penalty, but again, Pinky Boy is the slowest driver by far, who's not only slow and also inconsistent, so you can see him going wide, me overtaking pretty much immediately. Which again, disappointing spin early on in the race. Going to serve my penalty. You can see Pinky Boy 44 seconds behind. Well, that's 8 laps later, or 7 laps later. My pedals decided to disconnect, so I lose my brakes, and I fly headfirst into the wall. And that's my first race, P11. Usually disappointing. I could have recovered, but what I could have recovered was lost in the pedals disconnecting, which was not the first time it happens. Into the next race, starting P11 with Pinky Boy behind me, pretty much at the end of the grid. I could easily be in the top 5 here, if not for that incident. I could have easily been top 5, even top 10. Well, I am top 10 technically, or will be. The lights went out, getting an amazing launch. Pretty much, yeah, average launch. Not really much we can do with these Porsches. Just do not spin on launch, so you can just hammer it and expect nothing to happen. Going on the racing medium tires, this race is a long race, it's going to be a 2-stopper, medium, soft, soft. And you can see me just chucking it down the inside and outside of other drivers, making 3 position or 4 positions within 1, 2, 3 corners. Which is my specialty. Seems like every single beginning of the race, I'm very good. You can see I just overtake a lot of cars into the first couple of corners, but then after that, incidents happen and I get chucked all the way to the back, which saddens me a little bit, but it is what it is, you know. I'm a good fighter, but I'm not very consistent, and I'm not to be left alone. Once I'm left alone, I tend to lose focus, lose consistency, and just make a lot of mistakes. This time I made no mistakes of my own. The mistakes that were made were not by my fault, it was by other drivers or my pedals disconnecting, which is unfortunate. You can see me making move down Bloody 9 up to P8. Up to P7. And chasing behind the Dutch driver, Max Verstappen maybe, who knows. Now chasing behind him is one of the faster drivers. He usually always ends up P5, P4, and gets podium places left, right, and center. He's not a bad driver, he's actually quite good. And pace-wise on this circuit, me and him are actually very similar. I'm faster than him in some areas, he's faster than me in some areas. And it seems like in this area especially, he's a little bit faster than me. or maybe I just had to lift a little. So now gonna make it, trying to go to back on his bumper, and I'll put the pressure on so maybe he could make a mistake, force him into a mistake so I can overtake later. But it seems like he's just pulling away slightly, and we got one of the final corners of the track, and it's wrapping up lap 1. You can see he's going a little deep on the brakes, inviting donks into the fight. Now he's pretty much side by side drag race to the start, or drag race to the start of the corner, which is turn 1 and 2, which are pretty much mayhem all the time. And that's why I like this track. Turn 1 and 2 is my specialty. You can see I'm very aggressive through there. I'm very experienced. I've raced this track a lot. It's probably one of the most experienced track I'm on. It's like definitely in my top 5 tracks. So you can see me and Donk going through it, going at it. You can see him right behind me trying to put some pressure on me, not really working. I'm just, keeping cool face, keeping my head down, trying to go forward as fast as possible, catching up to the Dutch driver up in front, which is easier said than done. But again, me and him are very similar pace-wise, so I can easily pace match him if he's within 5 seconds of me. Again, due to me being left alone, losing my focus. Here we go through turn 3. You can see Donk's going a little deep on the brakes, trying to go for an overtake, punts me wide, I lose my traction, and then I try to keep it cool, I recover, and then make another mistake. Or on that edge of the track, there's really no traction. So once you're there, you're gonna have to either fully lift or try to correct it. Which what I tried to do was to correct it, but it ended up on it ended up with me on the wrong side of the coin, completely losing my traction and flipping, and our pixel hitting me, which ends up damaging my engine and screwing my entire race up for the second time. So now, I just go in the chat. Where's Donks? Come on, man. Really? He went for an overtake that wasn't really there. He forced it, ends up with me going wide, which is very Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen 2021 like. But the difference is none of us died really, or none of us could have died. It's not really dangerous. So skipping forward ahead, you can see me losing my pedals again. Very similar mistake to that one in race 1. Losing my pedals on the braking point, which is literally the worst place to lose your pedals. And that's not the last time I lose my pedals, unfortunately. There's another point which you will see soon where I lose my pedals. I desperately need new equipment. My Trustmaster T150 is just not fit for it anymore. The wheel maybe, but my pedals are just not fit for it. They're just too crusty, too tired. It's unmotivated. It's just not, it's not able to do it. My wheel does not have the energy, does not have the passion. No energy, no passion. No footwork, no drive. It's done. It's at the end of the cycle. So I'll be looking to upgrade my whole rig actually, which I'll be trying to, but cash is a little tight at the moment. So a sub would help me out a little bit, motivate me a little better, or maybe get me to monetize and make some cash on YouTube, which will pretty much end my suffering. So now exiting the pits pretty much in last, P12, after the 2 horrible incidents, which I really don't want to go over. Not that my fault, but it is racing, and a lot of the time it's hard. Maybe it's karma for previous mistakes I've made, maybe it's not. But who knows? What happened. So now skipping forward, you can see me, Pinky Boy, just extremely slow, really slow. You can see me just diving on this corner, I think turn 5 or 4. Really easy overtake, nothing difficult to be honest. And then going through here, you can see me clicking the options button. And why is that? I've lost my pedals again. Guess what? It happened. So there's me fiddling around with the pedal connection, trying to make sure it's properly connected, which is incredibly loose. And then going back on the throttle, and this time I've made sure my keyboard's pressuring the cable so it stays in place, but really it's always been like that and still disconnected. So yeah, I will need a new setup, or a new wheel, new whatever. But you can just see making the move on Pinky Boy, making it 6 times of a second, 7 times of a second, pretty much immediately. He's just not up for it. I don't know why he races anymore. And here's the thing, if you're asking why I'm racing, I'm a good driver but unlucky. So you could say Fernando Alonso in other terms, which I definitely am. GP2 engine. Not really, I'm just always on the bad side of the coin. Making silly mistakes left, right and center, penalties here, penalties there, penalties everywhere. The past 3 races, Portugal, Austria, was penalties. Pulled me real hard. Race 2 was, I forgot. Yeah, it was the highway, Grand Valley Highway, which had me doing silly incidents and some penalties, but not as bad as Austria. And now this race, the 3rd race, you can see 3 very unlucky incidents. Actually, no, 4 very unlucky incidents, with me being on the right side of the coin 4 times, which really is just karma at this point. This doesn't happen coincidentally, you know, two drivers punched me pretty much in a very similar way, and then me losing my pedal 3 times. That was not happening. So anyways, I just go wrap up my race in P11. Dutch driver decided to quit, so it helps me save a bit of face water, but it's not a good race. It's just not it.